it's Micheline with Fit and Healthy for Yourself, and today I want to talk about carbs. Why do we constantly want to eat carbs? It basically has something to do with our blood sugar, and it's actually has a lot to do with if we would just keep our blood sugar stable. The basic thing is that carbohydrates provide an energy fuel for our bodies. So that means any carbohydrates from starchy vegetables like potatoes, or from bread, pasta, cakes, any sugar-loaded treats. All of that, when we eat that, gets converted into glucose. And our body uses glucose as an energy source. And when our body converts glucose, the body uses it. But when we eat more than the body immediately needs, it stores the excess glucose in your liver and in your muscle. Only those two places. And the glucose in your muscle gets used by only that muscle. Whenever you use that muscle, that's when the glucose in that gets used. The glucose in the liver gets used by the rest of the body. Your brain needs glucose to work, your red blood cells need it, your kidney cells need it. So we do need it. And however, your liver and your muscles can only store that much. When those two are full, any excess gets converted into fat. And we all know that leads to weight gain. But since our liver and our muscles can't really store a lot, it is more of a short-term energy source. That's why we constantly need to replenish it. That's why we constantly get hungry after a couple of hours, because our body needs more fuel. So now stabilizing our blood sugar is kind of tough to do when you constantly need glucose. Because whenever you eat, your glucose, your insulin level, which is the response to your glucose, goes up, because it's the response. And then when it gets used up, it drops low and we crash. That's why we get like the sugar high and the sugar low. And so constantly using that glucose to come in kind of prevents us from stabilizing our blood sugar. But these constant ups and lows don't really do us any good, because with the ups you get a lot of energy, and then with the crash you get that tiredness, and the cravings come back. You crave more sugar. But here's also the problem: if our insulin levels constantly stay high, our body becomes kind of deaf to that insulin response. Our cells don't really listen anymore if they need glucose or not. So it's almost like the boy that cried wolf. Nobody listens anymore after a while. So our body stops listening to that, and the glucose actually stays high in our bloodstream. What do you have at the end? Diabetes. And you know what diabetes leads to. So, however, you can prevent it. If you keep your blood sugar level stable at all times, you don't have those cravings. You don't have those constantly that hunger feeling. You don't crave sugar all the time, because your body is constantly at a stable level and it always has the fuel it needs. Now here's something: you don't really need to eat carbs in order to get the glucose your body needs, because like I said, the brain, the kidney cells, the red blood cells, we do need a certain amount of glucose. But we don't really need to eat it, because our body can actually make their own. Our liver can make their own glucose out of the amino acids of protein. So it will only make as much as it needs. So therefore it's kind of perfect to keep your blood, to eat more protein, to keep your blood sugar stable. That's why I always say eat more protein. It will keep you full longer because it keeps your blood sugar stable. So that's just some food for thought, and I'll see you next time.